Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday night chat. Right now, it is just me and Blue. Let me get this all set up. Where am I at? There I am. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I see I freaking missed it. Right. Where's it at? It is just me and Blue. Come on, come on, come on.
Looking at too much porn before he started. You had too many windows open.
Yeah, I had too many damn windows open. All right, let me get it going here. Anyway, me and Blue's talking about traffic because I just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. Those that are familiar with me, I've been dating a girl up in Tennessee, and we get to see each other about once a month. So anyway, we're talking about traffic, and we got to talking about how 2 lanes, say on a normal interstate, 4-lane highway, construction going on, goes to 1 lane. Traffic's not too heavy, but instead of everybody just going ahead as they see the signs, getting over in the right lane or left lane, whatever it is that needs to be done, they decide, I'm going to blow by everybody and jump in line. And that causes a accordion effect that actually causes the bottleneck, that causes the congestion, that causes a standstill. Then if everybody would just go ahead and blend in, you could actually probably blow by the construction zone at 50, 60 miles an hour. But no, we're going to fucking try to get in front of 3 people or 10 people or whatever it is. And we're going to cause a traffic jam. And now I'm doing 5 miles an hour because of a bunch of assholes that thought they would get 3 more spots. It don't pay anything. There is no placement. Oh, I come in 3rd, 4th. This is not fucking NASCAR. Get in line. Everybody slow down a little bit and we can just blow right through this. But nope. You got to be an asshole and try to blow by everybody like that. 1,000 foot is going to make a difference in your arrival time wherever you're getting.
There's always somebody on the fucking road whose time is way more important than what fucking yours is to you. Always. I still have one more video, the vlog from driving through wherever. I'm going to throw that up tonight after tonight's chat, just because we're kind of talking about the traffic. But people actually seem to enjoy me ranting, I guess, about driving. But yeah, early start to Farmageddon, but it's fucking irritating. You're going along, let's say the speed limit's 70, and there's always a couple people that want to go 80, which, hey, if you want to go 80, go 80. If you get caught, you get caught. If you want to do 90, do 90. If you get caught, you get caught. But you have that line of fucking cars. Usually you got about 4, maybe 5 in a row, and you're just fucking, you're going. And all of a sudden, and like TR and I were talking, I always leave a fucking buffer. A huge buffer between the car in front of me. And that's because if you rear end the guy in front of you, if something happens, you're at fault. If the guy behind me rear ends me, they're the one at fault. But I always leave that bumper or that buffer. I'm cruising along, let's say 75 to 80 miles an hour into 70 with some, 5 other cars. There's always that one asshole that's in the slow lane that's going 50 that wants to fucking bump over in front of you to get in the line you're at, instead of waiting an extra second until you're by him because you're the last goddamn car in that line, and it starts that goddamn congestion. And man, that pisses me off. What do you think, Rick? He flies.
Get the hell out of the way.
I'm going to send SoCal a link. So y'all just chat among yourselves. But my point was, me and Blue, we were discussing this. How many 2-lane highways you been on where the speed limit was 55 and the traffic just moves smoothly? No problem. Boom, boom, boom. No, y'all doing 60, 65 miles an hour. You're on a 4-lane highway, it goes to a 2-lane highway, and it ends up being a fucking traffic jam, and you're doing 2 miles an hour because all these assholes were trying to get in front of other people instead of just merging in traffic. Slow down a little bit. We can all blow through this zone at 45 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour. We'll just say, hell, 35 miles an hour. is much better than 2 miles an hour. If you just get in fucking line and stay there.
I tell you what, you guys are talking about traffic, and I got to say, when I moved from California to North Carolina, I could not. Now, don't get me wrong. People haul ass here still. I think they're practicing for NASCAR. But what I'm saying is when there's a sign that says like merge left, right? As soon as people see that sign, merge left. California, fuck, they go on that side as far as they can go, and then they're the dumbass that's like waiting, like why aren't you letting me in? Like, if you would have saw the sign back there, a mile and a half back there, jackass. But no, you had to come all the way up here where you weren't supposed to be, and then try to merge in to save 5 seconds. So I do gotta say that I tell you what, the people out here, when they see a sign or they see an officer pulling a car over, they merge over and slow down to 35 sometimes, or whatever the case is. But go TR, I don't even think you could drive in California. You'd have a heart attack.
I definitely know I'd have a heart attack. But I mean, you're exactly right. Our fucking tax dollars don't go to put them fucking signs up a half mile or a mile before the merge site is for people to fuck off and like 10 feet before here comes the cement barrier or whatever to get the fuck over. It's like, and they just cut you off. It's like, you dick. And that really pisses me off. Oh,
yeah. It's stupid. I mean, it's like they just want to get in front of 3 extra cars, or there's like the on ramp coming in, and they're like, the traffic's already stopped up. And this is California. They'll like ride the curb and try to just to get 6 cars ahead when they were supposed to come in, 5 cars behind. It's like, fuck. Mm-hmm. Then they wonder why there's always accidents.
We were talking just before we went live, and it was like, fuck, let's go live with this stuff. We were talking about semi drivers. Whenever, let's just say it's a standard 2-lane interstate, and there's a bridge that's about to be closed like 2 miles ahead, and it's a holiday weekend, and you know that every one of them goddamn people are going to go till the very end and try to merge in, and that causes the bottleneck, which causes the traffic to come to a stop. I love it whenever these professional drivers, the semi drivers, they will fucking stay in that fast lane and just keep with one car so that there's nobody in front of them. They'll stay with the guy beside them, and they make people merge, and that type of stuff that works out great, until there's one fuckhead that, and every time there's a semi beside me doing that, or like I'm like in the middle where the semi is, what's going on, because he's got the line of traffic behind him in the hammer down lane. As soon as we get close enough, every time I'll back off and let that guy in. If you're the dickhead that's trying to just gain 6 spaces, now you're going to be waiting. You're going to be stopped in the merge lane because I'm not letting you in.
Oh yeah. I will tell you that when I moved, I mean, literally was driving across country in my vehicle a couple times to get my shit over here. The big rig drivers do haul ass out here. I mean, they're balls to the wall, hauling ass. I remember going through Oklahoma, and my windshield wipers are going as fast as they could, and I couldn't see shit. It was nighttime, and the big rig drivers were just fucking boom, passing me up. I'm like, there's no way this thing's gonna stop if it has to stop, because there's no way. And there was a couple times that I did see a couple big rigs crash in the side of the road that the cops have already been there, but I was like, damn, there's a lot of weight going down that road. But I do give them kudos because they are good drivers, 90% of them.
Oh, there's the Mormon. He just got in again.
The who? The meat?
Nah, somebody outside or out in the external was saying something. Hey, a fellow SoCal guy, and I'm like, nah, actually, he's from Utah and has got 35 wives.
Yeah, that's another thing. Why the fuck would you want 34 extra pain in the asses? Really?
Yeah, no.
That's a dedicated man.
Or a dumbass.
Can you see us yet?
I got no video in front of me, but I can see all four of you guys, well, including myself, down in the bottom. But I
That's
can't
how mine
actually.
is. Does
I
it
can't.
say there is an error loading your app?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the same bullshit.
Google Hangouts is fucked up, so don't worry about that. As long as you see us and you can hear us and you can talk, just go with it. On the external, I'm looking at it. It's working fine. You're popping in. You're on camera when you speak, so just roll with it.
Yeah, nobody wants to see you with your goofy ass headset on anyway, so it's all right.
It's well, you know, it's what I got. You know, so fucking blow me.
SoCal's playing. Actually, he's split screening right now. He's playing Xbox on the other side, beating up little 12-year-olds at Call of Duty.
The 12-year-olds are working, I'm sure.
I bought one of those Xbox Ones. Is it Xbox? Yeah, I guess it's an Xbox. I don't know. I bought it like 3 years ago. My best friend Matt and I had this big plan on playing this racing game that they had. I think we played like one day, and neither of us have touched it since then. Just not into it. Don't have that kind of time.
I used to do that a lot. Like it was before Xbox One. I used to fucking do that gaming Call of Duty bullshit for hours. And then finally I was just like, I'm done. Took a couple years, but it's definitely a lot of wasted time.
My problem is I can't put it down. And it's like I'll start at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's like there's no way it's 11 o'clock at night. There's no way that just happened. 14 hours, and what do I have to show for it? I'm shaking and hungry. That's it.
I haven't even got up to bed yet. Where did that go?
It's been a long time since I've been hooked on a video game. Now I just shake my head when I see my kid. He'll get up early and he'll like sneak over to the TV, turn the volume all the way down. I'll come up in the morning and be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Nothing, Dad. I've only been up since 4.
I know, exactly. Whatever, I guess. That's what I used to play a little bit. I was more of an outside guy though. But today's been raining and raining and raining. I'm already at 2 inches of rain, TR, since midnight last night.
That's like a year's worth in California, ain't it?
Yeah, I was just going to say we haven't gotten that much rain since the last time it rained at all.
The fact is, I checked the gauge.
I think it rained twice this year.
Just for April, we're at 10 3/4 inches, I think is what it said.
Damn.
And yeah, 21 something inches for the year.
I think we're around 5, which is huge.
California got some rain, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't know what to do with it once they get it.
Or yeah,
Oh
they
God,
put
my
it.
house is falling off the mountain. Oh shit!
Well, LA gets all their water from Oroville, so they're ripping that dam apart. So they had to drain all the water. So we're back to a drought, even though our drought was fixed for about a week, and then we drained the swamp, and now we're back in drought.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts. Well, that's your great governor. He used that money to, make it a, what is it called, state? A shitty state?
It was him and the one before him. Who was that? Arnold? And then the guy before that.
No,
Gray
Arnold
Davis,
was
I think
2
it was.
ago, I think.
Gray Davis?
Wasn't it Gay Davis and then Brown?
No.
I tried to.
I don't know. I don't remember shit, literally.
Pop said he got, 12 inches? Is that what he said? Yeah. That's for the year, I'm assuming. KS Gun Guy 01. That's a new name, huh? How you doing?
I think I've seen that name before, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was here on Tuesday. I remember seeing it too.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Getting racy out there. Behave, Gwen. You're going to start seeing phone numbers pop up left and right.
Quinn's off her meds again. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. We're getting back to the traffic thing in the bigger cities. I'm sure the little stuff I was seeing is like multiplied by 10 times. You know, it's just that half dozen or dozen assholes that fucks everything up here. Maybe in California or some New York or some bigger cities, it's like maybe it's 50% of the population. I don't know, that fucks everything up. I don't know.
Well,
For the most part, most people, when you see the sign, you know, 1 mile out, quarter mile out, this fucking lane's ending. For the most part, people get over. It's just that couple of assholes that run up there and screw everything up for everybody.
So true. Well, a good example of traffic. So we've been here almost 2 years. 2 years in June. And when my wife and the kids went back, I was driving, obviously. She was freaked out. She's like, holy shit. Like, you know, if you got to, when you're getting, you got to stay in traffic, you got to drive with traffic. And she's like, I can't even stand this shit right now. It's like she was nervous the whole time. So, yeah, if you haven't been around traffic like that, it's a little crazy. So that's just 2 years.
I make it a point, and you know where I live, I won't even leave my house after 3 o'clock on a weekday, and getting anywhere after 2 p.m., forget about it. I'll just do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
not even worth trying.
That's a true fact there.
Yeah, where I live, if the traffic's all jammed up at 3 o'clock, I just take the dirt road. And if that dirt road's congested, I take the other dirt road.
That's the way to do it.
In California, we're not allowed to make dust, so we don't get to drive on the dirt roads. We can only walk.
Is there even dirt roads left?
Yeah, they don't really go anywhere though.
No.
They just kind of dead end.
It's just to the next new construction site.
We had it so bad here. God, how many years ago has it been? It's been, I don't know, 10 years ago. We had a microburst that came through, and it just fucking flattened trees. I mean, it was basically like a tornado, but instead of a tornado, it was just, I don't know how it works, but the wind just kind of came down in a straight line and went for miles, and it just fucking pulverized everything. And at that point in time, you keep the fucking car in the garage, you get the four-wheeler out, and you ride into town, which is about an 8-mile trek. But and nobody says anything. As long as you don't fucking run over an electric wire and kill yourself, then get on the old ATV and go. But that's probably the worst we've had it, because where I'm at, we didn't have electric for, I think it was 8 days, something like that. And that was just from whatever they call a microburst or a downburst, whatever they called it. But that was before I knew all you guys and knew anything about prepping. So I was pretty much fucked. I had to call my parents and say, hey, you guys got electric down there? They're like, oh yeah, we're good. I'm like, well, can you bring me up the generator? Because if they wouldn't have been able to bring the generator up, everything in the freezer would have been done. Everything would have been done.
Talking about freezers, I ordered a new one, comes tomorrow. I had to leave my other one in California, which sucked. Had a bunch of freaking yellowtail and bluefin tuna in it that I had to give to my buddies. But yeah, I'll be back in action, so now I can start fishing again.
Get an upright or a chest, just for the sake.
No, I went upright. The chest, I've had them both, or I used both of them. I've always had the upright, and it's just easier to get to shit. The other ones can stay colder longer and all that, but when you're looking for something, it's easier to find in an upright, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have to get into prepping, but a good example of how preppers are sometimes get a bad rap. There you are, Blue. You live somewhere where it fucking snows asshole deep on a regular basis. and you wasn't prepared for if the power went out. It's like if anybody would have been prepared for the power to be out, and have not apocalypse, but just hey, what happens if the power goes out for 2 weeks? Because it snows here a lot. We get freaking freezing rain. It does this. It does that. Happens almost every year, if not every other year. Yet you don't prepare for it. And I'm not downing you. I mean, it's the same here for me. Before I got into prepping, it's like, you just went day to day and it's like, oh shit, the power's out.
Yep.
And then you're like, what the fuck do we do? Oh, let's go see if there's somewhere we can go to a hotel room or, whatever. It's amazing that the prepper mentality got such a bad name when it's just even a short term event,
No, and the one thing that taught me was, and there again, even years after, whenever before we got into this YouTube community, I just still, because I had the chest style freezer, and if it got too warm, there went all my shit. And I found it's a simple way to get an extra, Christ, as far as I'm seeing, you can get an extra 7 to 10 days out of your chest freezer if you build a platform on the bottom that's just high enough to put gallon milk jugs in it, and you fill them with like you fill them up halfway with water, and you freeze them. Once your electric goes out, you've got I got 1, 2, 3 by 8, I think. So I got 24 blocks of ice in the bottom of my chest freezer that if the power goes out, I'm good for up to 10 days just on that alone. Not including the extra power that I have now, which still is not what I need to have, but solar is just way too damn expensive for the startup. I mean, long term is great. I understand that, but startup, that's what kicks me in the ass.
Yeah, the frozen blocks are always good. Automatic generator that turns on though would be better.
Oh yeah.
That puts gas in itself, that changes its oil and spark plugs on a monthly basis. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I get a little invisible midget every Wednesday at 9:00 a.m. It turns on. Oh, little invisible ninja showed up, turning on my shit.
Which generator works nice for if you're out in the middle of nowhere and nobody can hear it, which that's kind of where I'm at now. I mean, my neighbors can hear it, but it's, it's good for what I have now, and it's cheap. You can get a $400, $500, $600 generator that can damn near power, I don't want to say your whole house, but you have to kind of, I'm going to run the fridge for this many hours. So you get it all cold and you shut it down, and then you can do a little bit of laundry, and then you shut that down and you can heat your house or do whatever. I mean, which it works, but damn, those things are so goddamn loud. And if you run out of gas there again, because you can't go anywhere because the blizzard of whatever year shows up, you're fucked because you have no gas to put in it.
Hey, TR, do you run a dehumidifier? Like in my basement, it's freaking, I need to get something. Is there a certain model that works best out here in the South?
Just cover the floor with the silica gel packs.
No, that's too much.
No, I don't have a dehumidifier, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. I mean, it's a good way to go.
It's just you can. I'm starting to smell it now.
Yeah, we have a lot of humidity. It's not a bad way to go. I've never owned one, so I couldn't tell you one way or other on it. If I'm hot, I just fucking strip down. If I'm fucking cold, I put clothes on. I'm the only one here, so it don't fucking matter to me.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
AC is a dehumidifier in itself. So, I mean, other than AC, I've never done that, went that route.
Yeah, because it's getting bad. Yeah, basements are water catchers, ZPD was saying. And that's exactly right. I mean, it's bad. Yeah, and running to a floor. And I've been looking at them. They got ones where the hoses you can basically throw it in the sink and let it run. You don't have to dump out the, there's different gallonages or pints, they call it. There's like a 70 pint one and a 90 pint one, but shit, I may fill that up every freaking 5 hours. I don't know. Oh,
I would think once you get the majority of the water, like out of the cement floor and the walls, that it probably wouldn't accumulate as quickly. I don't know. I don't even have a basement. I don't even know what a basement is. What is a basement?
It's kind of like a bomb shelter, but but it's not.
It's like one thing California doesn't have, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody has basements in California.
I know. It's a perfect place to have one.
I know.
Is there any humidity in California?
No.
only when it's raining, and then it dries up after it stops, like instantly.
Yeah, see, Billy knows. I got guns growing mold still.
Yep. I feel your pain on that one.
Sucks. I actually been putting them in plastic bags and just spraying the shit out of them with like WD-40 or rim oil spray, just so they don't rust up. That's the cleaner one, but
yeah, I've got the dehumidifier I have. It's a gallon or maybe just over a gallon that it holds, and I usually run it 3 hours on, 3 hours off. And it's about every 3 days you have to dump it, because I don't dump it into the floor drain, because if you dump it into the floor drain and it kind of just lays there, you're just sucking that right. You're dumping it in and you're sucking it right back out. So,
if it's in the tray,
yeah. I keep mine sealed, like it just catches its water, and I just take it out and dump it every 3 days.
Yeah, Gimp Geek just posted a comment. Wooden basements continually crack out in California. I don't know. We don't really have that many earthquakes. So, it really depends on, I guess, where you live and the soil beneath your house. There's some places around, at least my vicinity, where the earth is constantly sinking and shifting and expanding, contracting. But I don't know if I have that problem. I have a pool. That's really no different than a basement, really. It's just a giant chunk of cement, and I've lived here 15 years. There's not many cracks in it that I'm aware of. So I don't know.
damn, every 24 hours, 70 pints still in logs of sand. Yeah, I got to get this shit figured out, because you can almost see something like a stain, like little dots on the ceiling, which is probably some type of mold starting to grow. We don't go down there very much, obviously. You're like, what the fuck happened here? So I got that going for me.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Depends on where you live at in California as far as the earthquakes. I mean, California is famous for its earthquakes, but it's not the entire freaking state. It would depend on where you're at.
Yeah, the San Andreas goes from like Palm Springs, past Palm Springs all the way up to, and then it ties into another one.
Yeah, north of San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a shit ton out there.
And that's just the main fault. There's hundreds and hundreds of faults just in LA. I mean, the earth is just literally like a shattered piece of glass. And then there's a couple of major faults where the Pacific plate digs up underneath the North Atlantic or North American plate, whatever the hell they call it. I'm not a geologist, obviously, but I did stay one night in a Holiday Inn.
Did you get a Geico insurance as well?
I'm working on it. That was my next task for the week.
Hey, TR, can you hear me?
Let's see if I can figure out how to give Billy that number.
I can hear you, Combs. Whatever that's worth.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, it took a while to get the computer to boot up.
Let's see.
All right.
This is not going to be a ham radio chat, but
Oh yeah, watch this.
I know Combs and Big Meat Sunday or What the Fuck SoCal, his other, he's got a couple other channels too. In case you didn't know, Combs, Big Meat Sunday is a ham guy as well. So there you go.
I've watched his videos.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? I kind of
But they were
remember. Yeah, I kind of remember seeing. I mean, it hasn't been recently, obviously, because I haven't done a ham radio video in 3 or 4 years, I think. But I remember seeing comments in the distant past and recognized your name.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard Blue talking about solar power. I just got back from West Virginia. I finished my solar power project after 7 months.
Nice.
You finally get the all the people that wanted to. Shit, I'm totally drawing a blank here. The people monitoring from the city, to get all the code and all that stuff. You get all that squared away.
No, I'm gonna call for the. I'm not even sure this thing had to be inspected. Yeah, they just added building permits and inspections in the county that I'm in like 3 years ago. Before that, you paid $25 for a building permit, no inspections. You could build a house. They want to inspect everything. They want to look at it all, and it's a real pain in the ass. And if it's not connected to the house, then it's only a $25 building permit. So I'm thinking, all right, house, I'll avoid the problems. Because they hired these 2 ladies and gave them a car to run around and spy on everybody. And then you get these nasty letters. You have a new shed. We're going to fine you $200 a day if you don't get the permit. So I thought I'd pay $25 and be done with it. But the moment I mentioned solar panel, now, you got to get an electrical inspection. I said, listen, it's only 12 volts. I'm going to run a ham radio station on it. Oh, no, it's a solar panel. We got to come out and look at it. So I'm hoping the guy's going to come out and say, the house, I don't need to be here. All right, good. That's what I'm hoping for. It may not work out that way.
They're gonna get as much money out of you as they can. They stop.
More money to pay. I pay $100.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I quit doing ham radio. I had a mast, like a 25-foot retractable mast with a rotatable dipole on it, and I got a letter in the mail from my homeowners association wanting me to do a report and get a permit because I didn't apply to mount the thing correctly and they never inspected it, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to take it down. And I haven't really done much with radio since.
Yeah, well, see, I'm not sure how this loop gets closed. I got the permit. I taped it up in the window. You call a private company to do the inspection. If I don't call, what happens? Or if I call and I fail and I don't get another inspection, what happens? I mean, there's an old guy who lives another mountain line, a ridge line over, that he called for an electrical inspection of a garage and they came and they failed him. He said, all right, or 3 years ago. He's never called him back and he never fixed the problems. He just said, all right, I failed. Thank you. So I don't know what closes the loop here.
All right. Obviously, I can't multitask.
It's a bitch, ain't it? I can do it.
I'm trying to do this and text a buddy of mine. I get reminded I suck at multitasking all the time too. The kids would be like, "Hey, mom, he's gonna try it again." I'm like, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah, I remember seeing a comic one time talking about multitasking, and no offense to any women out there because they always claim they can multitask, and oh, it's no big deal. Men can't do it. And it's like, well, yeah, we can, but I can also drive a fucking car steering it with my foot, but that don't mean it's a good fucking idea.
True fact right there. My knee works good though. As long as the turn's not too long or too sharp. I can drink sweet tea, change the radio.
If anybody's ever driven I-40 in between Tennessee and North Carolina in one of those hard curves at 75 miles an hour while lighting a cigarette, don't ever tell me I can't fucking multitask.
That's right. I like the tunnels, the best part. Those tunnels are badass. That's other.
Yeah, I don't know how many tunnels they are on many interstates, but I-40's got a few of them.
Well, no, what's weird too is you can either go the opposite way. You're either driving in the dark and then that thing's like lit up and you can't fucking see the first 50 yards, or it's daytime and then you go into this dark tunnel and then you can't see till then you pop back out and the freaking sun's in your eyeballs. I'm surprised there's not more crashes right there, actually. Damn.
Yeah. For anybody just joining, reason I was talking about traffic earlier is I just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. So I got home about 8:30. The last 5.5 hours I'd been driving in the rain from Tennessee to South Carolina. So I won't say it's a white knuckle drive, but you get to see a lot. Luckily, I didn't get caught up in any wrecks or, get slowed down by any wrecks. I'm kind of curious how my phone, the GPS, I think the NSA really likes my chats and they want to make sure that the chats go on, because I was scheduled to be here, by 8 o'clock. Ended up being 8:30. But on the way, when I was it was right past North Carolina. And all of a sudden, my GPS, I had my little Bluetooth in, and it says, because the time kept jumping up. It was like, whatever time. And it would jump up 30 minutes. And I'm like, how in the hell did I back up 30 minutes? I'm doing 65 fucking miles an hour. And it's like, we have, in this little lady voice in my ear, we have found that wasn't it. We have found an alternate route that'll save 20 minutes or some shit like that. And I'm like, hit accept. Okay, fuck it. We'll do that. We'll detour around that. And I go about another 10 miles. I'm almost at exit. And it comes up again in my ear. We have found a alternate route that will save you 20 minutes. Do you want to accept? And I'm okay, accept. And it took me around part of I-40. And I'm thinking, I don't know what technology is in the GPS system, but it's kind of weird as you're driving. It knows there's a traffic jam. It's refiguring your fucking route around the traffic jam. And it's like, this technology is just like way too advanced. What in the hell is going on with my phone? And that's why I said that's NSA. They want to see if I got they want to see my chat so they can keep up with what we're doing.
Skynet.
Yep, Skynet.
But yeah, whenever I was coming down to fight, I don't use my GPS often because I don't really travel very far out on interstates and stuff. But on the way down to Farmageddon, it was the same thing. It was like, how does my phone know that I'm coming up to a fucking traffic jam? The only thing I can figure is that there was probably, 30, 40 people that were far enough ahead of me that was using the same Google Map GPS system or, that type of thing. And once they start slowing down, it reads it. And there was like stretches of road that was like marked as red that it was stopped, but it didn't have any better routes for me because that was always coming into a large city or something like that. But it would show green for speed is normal. It would show yellow if it was slowed down, which happened a couple times, like with the fog and with the rain coming home. But if it was a gridlock, it was red and you knew it well before you got there. So it has to be reading other people's information and then cycling it through a server and putting it out to everybody else. It's like, hey, avoid this area if you can.
Yeah.
I think what they do is everybody. I mean, pretty much everybody and their mom has a cell phone at this point, so everybody's got it turned on while they're driving. You know, Google is constantly tracking, or Apple or whomever it is, constantly tracking their GPS coordinates every time the phone pings, and they just use that information based on the speed at which the average ping has traveled in X number of seconds. They can tell how fast traffic is moving.
All right, Blue, here's something that's creepy. The last time I did the Apple iPhone update, it started to predict my travel time to my destination. And I don't ever use Google Maps on the phone. And it started, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago. Get in the car to go to work in the morning. It says, "Oh, mute. How do you know I'm going to the office?" And for the first time last weekend, driving off my map Sunday, I'm going down to Sheets to get a sandwich. It's like, oh, 2.5 hours to Springfield. Whoa. How do you even know I'm going off this mountain? You know I'm on my way home.
Mm-hmm.
Turn this off.
I have noticed that, and I got a Google phone or Android. If you got an Android phone, it's a Google phone. Even with the GPS turned off, it'll pop up. Oh, your travel time to home will be 17 minutes. I'm like, I didn't ask you shit.
Just in case
But
you
it was amazing that it changed my route twice. And the second time it changed it, the first time it changed it, I'm like, it's Sunday evening. It's fucking raining. And it's telling me that there's construction and there's a slow up. And I'm like, there's no way in hell they're working on the fucking road on a Sunday evening and it's raining like hell. Well, sure enough, a few miles later, they got a billboard thing up there with whatever lights, you know, telling you shit. 19 miles. And my GPS at that time was saying in 14 miles, take this exit. The sign said, I mean, just a few minutes after, 19 miles, one lane traffic. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I guess you wasn't lying, you know. And then before I hit the exit, it was like, oh, we have found an alternate route for you that will save you 20 more minutes or 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I'll accept. And sure enough, I went ahead and got off because I was thinking, you know, well, before I got off, I was like, I think this is bullshit. This is just based on what's happening during the week. But in the meantime, on the lane coming the other way, sure enough, they were doing construction, lights out, fucking backed up traffic for miles. And I'm like, I was like, well, maybe it's picking up that there's construction on that side, but I've already passed a sign that said it's one lane traffic. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to trust it and just see what happens. Anyway, so I took the little detour. It took me through the country a few miles. And when I came back out, sure as shit, it was one lane traffic. And a transfer truck let me in. And I only had to go about another mile or two, and then it opened back up. And I was like, that is kind of freaky. That technology, there's some alien technology going on here. This is just fucking me up.
And let's face facts. Let's say that any of us were so-called threats or whatever. What would it be for the government to tap into your phone to say, hey, look, you're coming up on fucking construction. Go off on this fucking road. And then they fucking drop a tree right the fucking front of you and boom. I don't think that would happen to any of us because I don't think that we're that big of a threat, but
Hey,
it could happen. It could happen.
If that phone was worth the shit, it would have warned me this morning that today was our anniversary. I could have got some goddamn flowers for my wife in time, but no, I had to get that phone call at 12 o'clock. But it knows what time I'm leaving the mountain. I'm waiting for that phone. Beer is on sale at Giant. Oh, shit.
Well, Well, it's the NSA. It's mainly men, probably, and so the anniversaries and birthdays and shits are not hitting the radar.
If you go to track me with some useful information.
Yeah.
But I was really, I mean, the GPS is always, it kind of amazes me how, because you can take a wrong turn and it just automatically fucking reroutes your fucking route, And it's like, okay, I can kind of see that because there's a map laid out and, it's just reconfiguring. But with the traffic deal, even when I hit Knoxville, Tennessee, which sucks. If anybody's been through Knoxville driving on I-40, I don't care what time of day, what day of the week it is, it sucks. Because you're going through Knoxville forever. And it's like 8 to 10 lane traffic. And it's like, how could it be this congested 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon? What the fuck? Anyway. And then all of a sudden the GPS is in my ear. Oh, traffic is heavy for the next such and such miles, and then readjust my time home. And I'm like, really?
I always like we were talking about video games there a little bit. I always take that GPS, your arrival time is. That's a fucking challenge. I'm gonna beat that. I don't care what it says. I'm gonna fucking beat that suggested time.
Have you ever though?
Oh yeah.
I don't think you can. It recalculates.
Yeah, they recalculate now.
Well,
I've noticed that son of a bitch nails it because it'll go up and down as you speed up or slow down.
But before
pissed me off, it kept popping up a yellow time and saying, and my time was like, okay, 2.5 hours home, and I'd look down at my phone, 2 hours and 40 minutes home, and I'm like, what the fuck?
No, before they did that update where it would automatically update it, like whenever you first start your trip, it would say, we suggest your time, your arrival time is at this, and it would, let's say 8:30 at night, and then like you look and it says you only have an hour left, and you look at your phone, it's like, fuck yes, I got this beat. But they did do the updates. I don't know, it's been a while now, but
yeah, you gotta
with the GPS thing, that thing calculates your time whether you're doing 60 or 70, and it'll change. I mean seriously. Now you can see it change, like you're gaining time, but far as when you finally hit home, that motherfucker is on a dot within a minute. It's like, damn it.
advantage. He's in uniform. He's got a cruiser with lights.
actually, I'll tell you what, on the interstate, back whenever I was going through the Canine Academy, I had to go the whole way across the state for that training. And I would drive out on like a Sunday, stay all week, leave a Friday night and come back. Being in a cop car sucks ass because you can be going at a good clip and then all of a sudden somebody notices you in the rear view. It's like, and then you're fucking, it's like, get the fuck over and just let me go. And then you always pick up those people that know that, in PA, unless like if I'm on the interstate, you can speed by me and I can't do shit because it's out of my jurisdiction. And there's people that know that. So I'm going, let's just say, for instance, I'm going 90 miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour zone. There's fucking people passing me at 100 miles an hour. And then the people that are staying with me because they know I'm not going to do nothing, they'll fucking go around. It's like, you motherfuckers. I mean, it's like, I could care less either way, but it's like, damn it. Because there's always that fear that, oh, look, hey, look, I'm going to videotape this cruiser that's beside me, so you get to see where I'm from. And then they pan down to their speedometer, and then they pan back and they show me, and then they pan back to the speedometer. It's like, yeah, you're kind of, I don't want to say taking your career into your own hands, but that's almost what it's like. Because I mean, you get, Christ, you get suspended for that shit, and if you do it too many times, you can get arrested. But I'll never forget the one time I was on my way back from the Canine Academy back to my house. And there was me and then a guy from a neighboring jurisdiction. We just happened to get in the same class, and we are hauling ass. We're hauling ass. And I had to stop to take a piss. So whenever I got done taking a piss, I was really hauling ass to try to catch back up to him. And we passed a trooper, and it's a national police frequency that you can use, and that's what we use back and forth talking, because it's a direct frequency. And I call them. I'm like, hey, I'm just coming by a mile marker or whatever. I'll probably be catching you here without and not too long. And Trooper gets on the fucking radio and he's like, I just clocked both of you. You're not catching them anytime soon. And he's like, where are you guys from? And it was a real general, oh, this is where, we're from Northwest PA. And
you're like, nope, next time.
Nope. But it does happen though. I mean, there was, God, it's only been actually it's been about 2 years. And I think it was Florida. There was a city cop who was driving down the interstate trying to get to his work, and he was running late, and he was going about $120 going down the interstate, and a trooper tried to pull him over, and he was in a police car. He was in full uniform and everything else. And she ended up arresting him because this is a guy that had been stopped, had been clocked, had been warned, a half a dozen to a dozen times. And she fucking arrested him for fleeing and attempting to elude and all that other shit. And it got to the point where she got harassed so much by all the other cops that she ended up quitting her job and filing lawsuits. And I'll have to look that up. But it's an interesting story. But the video, there's a time and a place for doing shit, and just going to work ain't one of them. You know what I mean?
Well, me and Blue was talking before we started chatting. I was telling him about how I came up across this state trooper, and it just a couple of hours ago. And so I just got behind him, and I was like, okay, whatever speed he's doing, I'm doing. And we were pretty much doing the speed limit, but it's fucking pouring down rain, and we're going on I-40 in between Tennessee and North Carolina. So actually we was traveling too fast for conditions. But I'm like, unless his lights are on, I'm just staying on his ass. And that's what I done. And that's kind of the way I feel about it every time I've got around especially a state trooper, because they have the whole state. Their jurisdiction is the state. And I'm like, okay, whatever speed he's going, I can do. So, because I know I've gone through Georgia or Atlanta, I should say Atlanta. You're doing 75 and a 55, and a fucking state trooper passes you like you're in his fucking way. Fuck it, I'm on your ass. Here we go.
And away we go.
They had a thing here after Hurricane Katrina. They had that mutual assistance between, I guess, a group of New Jersey cops went down to New Orleans. And they were coming back and blowing through Virginia with their lights and sirens on in a convoy. Virginia State Trooper pulled them all over and gave them like a shitload of tickets to where they actually had to come and go to court. And the chief of police up in Jersey, because I think they got like village cops or something. It's a little bit different than it is here in Virginia. And they made it over for those tickets for running code in Virginia and not responding to an active call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Even though, like I was saying, I was going well above the speed limit, going back and forth to fucking canine training. If I would have got stopped, I would have got stopped. I mean, it would have been nobody's fault but my own. But I mean, literally, I got lucky. Other than that dude that was radaring us, which it was a split level interstate, so the one interstate was way lower than the higher one. He couldn't have turned around on us or anything. So I mean, but if he would have wanted to, I mean, damn, I could have got tickets, and if I would have, it's my own fucking fault. But years ago, I fucking stopped a state constable, because in PA, state constables really don't have any. They can't run lights and siren. They can't do this. They can't. They serve warrants. They serve civil paperwork, that type of stuff. Well, I fucking stopped a state constable because people were saying he was coming through our county at a high rate of speed. And he had a fucking 13-year-old juvenile in the car that he was transporting from one county to another for some type of a criminal case or something like that. And I ended up fucking arresting him. And it's not a good feeling whenever you have to arrest, somebody that's doing the same thing you do. But every now and again, you have to do it, because if you don't, I've made myself perfectly clear in a lot of different cases with, you know, shootings and stuff. If you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. If I'm in the wrong and I get caught, it's my, you know, that's me. I did it myself, but it sucks when you're that guy that fucking stops and arrests somebody that's doing the same shit you're doing.
How fast do you have to be going to get arrested?
Fast enough that if I try to catch you and you keep going, basically.
Oh, so that's not the speed.
No, I've stopped people in a 55 zone that are at, because we run, it's called NRAD. I'm not going to get into what that is, but we're in PA. I'm not allowed to run radar. I'm not allowed to run laser. I'm not allowed to run anything like that. We have to use stationary equipment that you have to set up on the road. I've hit people at 106, 107 in 55 zones, and if they stop, you give them their tickets for speeding, reckless driving, and there they go.
Yeah, but you gotta even lower the numbers of speed down, don't you? Or you gotta arrest them.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
When you go to write the ticket, say he or she's doing 106, you have to write it for like 86 or something, so that you don't have to.
Mm-mm.
No,
there's nothing in PA that says that I have to arrest you for anything. If you're out of state, I have the right to take you forthwith, which basically means I write you the ticket and I take you in front of a magistrate. But I've never even done that. I mean, it's a waste of time. But no, I've never once taken anybody in that's even racing on highways. Every now and again, because we have 4-lane highways where I work, you'll have a couple kids that are, which we've all fucking done it. And that's kind of the way I look at it. We've all done it. I'm not taking people in front of a magistrate over a summary and possibly giving them jail time. You just write them the ticket. If they want to take a hearing, they take a hearing on it. We have it and let the judge decide at that point to happen. But I've never taken anybody in custody just for speeding.
because when I did renew my driver's license to get a North Carolina one of the questions was, and this is kind of off topic, but it says if you go over 80 miles an hour and get pulled over, they can take away your license and something else just for 80. I was like, holy shit. Then I was talking to a friend of mine that's a police officer out here, and I can't remember how I asked the question, but he says what's even worse. So say the speed limit is 65 and you're doing 80, right? Or even 81, just to call it sidetrack, shiny objects. Like the distance between the 80 and the 65 is comparable. Like if you're in a residential area and you're doing 45 and a 25 or something, like there's that little there's that window of like 15 miles an hour, and you don't really want to ever go over that, because that's when they set their own, like Blue, say you're doing traffic and the miles per hour is say 55. You set your thing for probably 65 or 70, right?
Yeah.
Just because everybody's doing a mile over 55, so that would just drive you fucking nuts. But you're looking for the guy that's out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, he says basically anything over 80. So if you stay at 80 or under on a freeway, you should be fine. I mean, you can set the cruise control and you'll be fine.
You would probably still get pulled over, because and let's face facts. I mean, we have drug runners, we have all this other stuff that pretty much follow the letter of the law. But every now and again, you know, there's no profiling involved, but however, you have that one car that's 6 over, 7 over. You might pull them over every now and again as just like a spot check. You're not going to give them a ticket. You're not going to fuck with them, but it's good to stop those people, just because you never know what you're going to get into. You know what I mean? It's always the small stuff that leads into the big stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've stopped people for 6 over before. I've never given a ticket. I mean, that's Christ, mine's, you got to be going about 15 over before I'll even think about writing a ticket. And hell, I've even stopped people at fucking 85 and a 45 and let them go. It's like, I don't make any more. I don't make any more.
Write the thing.
I don't make any more money if I write tickets or don't write tickets. It's just, you know, they catch you at the right time, or you pull them over and they say something right off the bat that it's like makes you fucking laugh. I mean, it's like, yeah, there's just something about some people. They're like, man, I really fucked up. And it's like, you know, you give them the Actually, I don't even do that. I don't belittle people. I don't sit there and yell at them for going over the speed limit. They know what they did. It's, it's the asshole that, what the fuck do you stop me for? Well, now we're going to have some fun. Yeah. I mean, that traffic stop is going to be probably the most expensive thing you've ever been through.
Go ahead and next time you get pulled over, claim your sovereign citizenry.
Mm-hmm.
And see how that plays out.
Yeah. Roll down your window like that fucking much and stare straight ahead and just keep repeating the phrase, I am a human traversing across the planet. You have no right to stop me. And let the guy on the other side of the window keep saying, sir or ma'am, I need to see your license, registration, and proof of insurance, and just keep denying it, and then ask for their supervisor. Just do that.
Yeah, I want your supervisor. I want your supervisor. Pretty soon you'll have old freaking Trump going, is this beautiful? Why am I here?
I've seen so many videos, and a few of them get away with it. I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't have to show you anything. It's like, do you really want your fucking teeth punched out and thrown in fucking jail? I mean, I get your point. I see where you're coming from. But guess what? You live in America. You live under laws. If you don't like the laws, fucking fight to change the laws. But you live in a nation under law.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking abide by or get fucking tased and thrown in the fucking trunk of a fucking police car and thrown in fucking jail.
You might not want to show me your shit. And if you don't want to show me your shit or do all that other stuff, roll down your window, open your door. It will be broken. You will be ripped out. You will probably be tased. I mean, the situation depends on what you're doing. But if you're already just refusing to do a simple task, yeah, I don't need to show you this. Bullshit. Look at the fucking Pennsylvania driver's code. You signed a fucking driver's license. That is not actually criminal. That is what they call civil. That's just like people that refuse blood tests that are DUI. If you get pulled over for a suspected DUI, you get taken into custody, you do all this other shit. The criminal part of it is the worst you got to fucking worry about, because whenever you sign your driver's license, you automatically have signed consent that you'll give blood, you'll do this, you'll do that, and you'll do that. And if you refuse to do that, fucking PennDOT, well, here in PA, but I'm sure it's the same across the fucking nation, they come after you hard. And you'll lose your driver's license. You'll get fucking fined through them, which not fined. You'll get sued basically. And it's, am I being detained? Yes, you fucking are. I stopped you for a fucking reason. So yes, you're being detained. Yeah, I'm responding to somebody out in the chat room, but.
Well, and and a lot of people may give me grief over this, but believe it or not, driving down the road is not a constitutional right. You got to look at it all ways. Driving a car is not a constitutional right. And as much as I can see the other side of the story, I mean, looking at it from all sides with an open mind, you don't have a right to drive a fucking car. You really don't. I have a right to free speech. I have a right to a fucking gun. I have a right to defend myself. I have a right to a lot of things, but I do not have a right to drive a car on the road. That is a privilege. I know I might get a lot of grief over that, but figure it out, look it up, look into it.
I thought pretty much every driver's license test you take, that's like one of the questions. I don't know if it's like that in every state, but it's like written all through the manual, like the study guide in California to get your license.
I was stunned this weekend. We actually had 2 cop cars on our mountain in West Virginia. I haven't seen a cop car up there in 15 years. We had the local town cop and a sheriff's deputy for some missing persons, because now everybody's hunting these morel mushrooms. Was looking for people all over my property all the time, looking for, I don't even know what one looks like. And at the bottom of my driveway, local police officer from town comes up. He's like, yeah, we're missing person. Somebody left their house yesterday at 6 o'clock at night, walking out of town, which is 3 miles away. And they said they were going to come up here mushroom hunting on this mountain. I don't think so. It's like 3 miles up the mountain, and it's all uphill plus 3 miles. They might get up here around midnight. They're not going to find any mushrooms. You might want to check down the bottom roads towards the bottom of the mountain. But I never saw a cruiser ever up there. And all of a sudden we had 2 of them up there. I was like, whoa, somebody did something wrong.
All right, I'm going to answer a question verbally. Frank I says, respectfully, TR, you are incorrect. No, I'm not. You have no constitutional right to drive a car on a public paid-for highway. You have no right under the Constitution to drive a car on any road in America. You can travel, but you don't have a right to drive a car under the Constitution. There's no constitutional right that gives you have the right to drive a car no matter what on a publicly paid for road. You can walk through the woods, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but there is no constitutional right to give you that the police, the state, or whatever can take your right away from taking your right away from driving a car on a road. If you can find that in the Constitution, put it in the external, and I will read it out loud. Constitutional right given you to drive a car, horse and buggy, or anything else on a publicly funded road. If you can find that in the fucking Constitution, fucking post it, and I will read it aloud for everybody to hear.
And actually, I don't even think that the horse and buggy theory, I don't think that holds water on a publicly owned highway. Because even though people don't think Amish pay taxes, they do. Look it up. Everybody's like, "Oh, Amish don't pay taxes." They, why the fuck do I have to yield to them when they're on a highway? Because they fucking pay taxes. They don't pay, I don't want to say income tax. I can't say that, but they pay their property, their local, their state. They pay all that shit. And they have every right to a roadway just like anybody else. But, and there's another thing, which is kind of funny. I don't know if it's the whole way across the nation, but at least here in PA, if you are on a horse, I mean, just a fucking horse with a saddle and you got a horse and you're drunk off your ass, you cannot be arrested for driving under the influence. However, you take that horse and you hook it up to a buggy, the buggy becomes a vehicle. You're drunk, you can be arrested, regardless if you're Amish, if you're not Amish. There's that weird thing in the law that makes it horse is not a vehicle. The horse is transportation. I don't know how they word it. You hook that fucking carriage up to it, vehicle. So that's just that. I just thought that was funny.
Well, you drive a buggy, you ride a horse. So technically, you're not driving the horse when you're on it. It's taking you for a drive, right?
And half the time, them goddamn Amish horses, you could be passed out drunk. You fucking slap the reins and you just, they'll take you home. They know where they're going.
Yep. What was that movie we talked about one time, Blue? A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh my God.
Perfect proof of it. I know some people out there, if you want to, and I'm a conspiracy theory fucking nut job.
Here are your answers out there, just so you don't miss it.
Okay, what was it?
Frank I won't read it. You just scroll up a little bit.
Ah, shit. I seen it. Under commercial code, not the Constitution, if you're not making money using the road, you're traveling, not driving. Yeah, but that's not the way it works. Take that to court. If you can win it, get drunk off your ass, do 150 miles an hour down the road. If you can beat that, give me the stenograph of it, of everything I have to say to beat that fucking charge on a publicly tax-paid road, and I'll agree with you. But other than that, it's not your right. You do not have a right to fucking travel on the road in a fucking car. It is a privilege. You don't have a constitutional right. If you want to get in commercial code, okay, so I'm a fucking child rapist, a DUI I got a DUI, I killed a motherfucker. So you still have to give me my CDL, not throw me in fucking jail, and I can drive on the road. I mean, where's the limit? Where are you going to stop this? Whatever. It's a fucking taxpayer fucking road. I mean, I hate to be an asshole about it, but you don't have a fucking right to be on the road. It's a fucking privilege. Period.
There you go. In case you guys were wondering.
TR has said it, therefore it is so.
I mean, I don't see the argument. I don't see what the argument against it is.
Right,
You know, I mean, I know the sovereign citizenry is what we were kind of got off on, and it's the same fucking thing.
I'm looking at the panel here. One guy's vaping, TR's smoking, Blue's got a cigar, I'm chewing Nicorette. 6, what are you doing?
I just had a cigarette. and it's raining cats and dogs out there.
Yeah.
Who came up with that dumbass idea of cats and dogs?
I think we were all born in the 60s. We're all having this nicotine thing going on.
I need to quit.
How
I'm
fucking old do you think I am?
dying over here.
I've been chewing Nicorette for 20 years.
Born in the 60s. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. What?
Almost.
Come on, Grandpa.
I made it out of the 60s by a couple years.
All right.
Actually, I have one more subscriber than my birth year. So I'm getting very close to my 2,000 subscriber giveaway.
All right. I think TR was born in the 60s.
Yeah, 68.
60.
I was born 68. All right.
I was a 71er.
So, Cal?
70.
You're almost a millennial.
I'm 70.
no.
It's easy to keep track of how old I am. I can just look at the calendar. What year is it again? Oh, shit.
I'm
I'll be 47 this year.
I know. Now I still got to go, how old am I going to be next year? And then I got to do the whole math thing. Fucking sucks. 70 would have been better.
All right, what do we got to do for your 2,000 sub giveaway, Rick?
VR, be a subscriber, obviously. But the thing is what do you like about my channel? What's something that I could do better on? And then and you don't even have to do this part, but basically follow me on Facebook or Instagram. That's it. Simple enough.
So can you make a video of how sovereign citizens can drink and drive and not get tickets?
Sure.
Let's just see how that part
You
works
can
out.
watch it. You can make it.
But I want you to do this up in Blues County so we can FOIA request Blues dash camera.
I'd love to go screw with Blue in his own town. I'd call the sheriff first, be all, chief of police, and be all, hey, I'm going to mess with Blue. Do you mind?
All right, Blue, we had a report that John Smith over at 126 Huckleberry Lane, he is stuffing marijuana inside of logs, and they're shipping them out on the trailer load. Can you go check that out?
Yeah, and they're at the bottom.
So you got to split all the wood.
That's right. You got to unload that whole truckload.
Now there was a fun God, that funny thing was funny. It was on Facebook or something where it was John Smith's birthday and his neighbor forgot to give him a present, and John Smith had a whole bunch of logs to get ready for the winter. So he calls up the local sheriff's department. He's like, Sheriff, you know, John Smith's over there, and he just got a huge shipment of marijuana in. He's supplying the whole county with marijuana, and somehow he got the marijuana inside the logs, and he's taking it out and he's selling it. So the whole sheriff department shows up with fucking axes, and they're fucking splitting the wood. They get the whole pile done and there's no marijuana. They're like, what the hell? This must have been a bad tip. And they walk away. And I call John Smith. I'm like, happy birthday, brother.
It's messed up, buddy.
You know, I bet some shit like that's actually happened too.
Probably the funniest skit I've ever seen, which I've never really watched it, was Reno 911. I think it was on Comedy Central. I watched it a few times, but there was this one where the neighbor had a problem with his neighbor. One guy had a problem with his neighbor's dog. Kept fucking calling the cops because the dog was always on his lawn shitting and barking and doing all this other stuff. So the one day he calls the cops and they show up and it's Reno 911, so it's not real. But the neighbor meets the cops at his neighbor's house. And he's like, oh, my dog's so old and I can't afford to take him to the vet to be euthanized. And I can't see him suffer like this. Can you guys help me out? And he does this whole fucking, story. And the one cop feels bad for him. So he walks behind a gate and you hear this. And he comes out and he's like, I'm sorry, sir, but the job is done. Your dog is now at peace. The actual dog's owner walks out of the house. He's like, what the fuck did you do? You just shot my dog. And the neighbor's like, fuck you. I told you to keep that dog off my fucking lawn. It's been shitting for years. It's like, that was what it's not funny. I don't want to say it's funny because everybody ever did that. That's shit, but it was funny.
A new chain for chainsaw.
Comedy like that is starting to become more rare and rare. I mean, especially growing up. I mean, we were only a few years apart. I mean, yeah, we grew up with fucking Blazing Saddles and you name it, Sanford Son, Jefferson's, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there was so much racial jokes and stuff that went on that now it's like, fuck, you can't even say I'm a fucking Republican or I'm a conservative or I'm a libertarian and somebody wants to fucking hit you in the face with a fucking stick. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, that's wrong. You can't do that. You know, that's fascism. It's like, no, you're the fucking fascist, you dumb fucking twat.
All in doubt, call him a twat.
Gee, I call those days the before times.
Well, I mean, liberals used to, at one time in my lifetime, they would come to arms, not to arms, but you know, they would say, hey, the KKK has a right to voice their opinion. The neo-Nazis have a right to have a parade. You know, the liberals are the ones that wanted this. The conservatives are like, you know, fuck them. No, they can't do that. And the liberals are like, no, this is free speech. This is the First Amendment. You have to let them voice their opinion, whether you agree with it or not. Now, the tables have turned, and the liberals are like, no, if you don't agree with us, that's hate speech, and it don't apply to the First Amendment. All of a sudden now, the liberals are fighting for fascism. They call themselves anti-fascist when, in fact, they are the fascists that want to suppress your freedom of speech.
Blue.
The only speech they allow is what they agree with.
I don't think the people you're talking about are the liberals you're thinking, because all those liberals are living in the villages in Florida now. You know, I don't even know what you call progressives today, but it ain't the liberals that used to, you know, support people's opposing views because they had the right to have an opposing view. All those people are living in the villages now, driving golf carts. We got to come up with.
Are they driving the golf carts or are they traveling in the golf carts?
Well, they're progressive, so they're going to be driving the golf carts, engaged in commerce across state lines as they cross the holes, so the government can tell them if they need to make a left or a right. So, you know, they'll defer to the state. They like that big state there.
Those damn gated communities.
Yeah.
I work for one of those gated communities.
But everybody see that now? I mean, even Democrats are freaking kind of second guessing. Wait a minute, who are we voting for? This is one subject I want to touch on tonight. Because keep seeing story after story after story about Trump supporters turning on him. Well, the latest poll come out, Trump would still beat Hillary in a race for the president to be president. I see it more on Facebook than I do on YouTube. But the people that are turning their back to Trump and like just fucking going after him, and I have some extreme people on my Facebook friends list. I don't agree with everything Trump's done. By no means. Even when I voted for Trump, I knew he wasn't going to be the perfect candidate. Not that I've ever seen one. But in general, I thought he would still do a better job than my other choice, which was Hillary.
Oh, hell yeah, all day long.
Yeah. And so I keep seeing news story after news story after news story about how Trump is the turncoat. He is, blah, blah, blah. Hillary wouldn't have done this, which is all bullshit, just on and on and on and on. I mean, it's like littering my Facebook feed to the point it's starting to make me fucking sick. I'm like, really? Okay. Illegal immigration has decreased by 75 fucking percent, and it's not even hit 100 days yet. The budget has been cut. Well, maybe not the budget. Maybe it's the budget deficit. Anyhow, government spending has been cut by so many billions of dollars. There's a lot of good things happening. Is Trump perfect? No. But has good things happened? Yes. Is there some bad things happen? Yeah, there's a few bad things. I didn't agree with him bombing Assad, their air bases. I don't agree with that one at all. But those wheels are already in motion. He really didn't have much to do with it. I guess he could have said yay or nay, but it's the industrial military complex. He only has so much power. The president has less power than we think he does, but he does have a lot of power. And I think everybody needs to keep that in mind. I'm happy with Trump. I'm not like turning fucking cartwheels and shit over Trump, but compared to Hillary, I'm fucking ecstatic of the state of our union right now.
Have you guys heard this? Have you guys heard the songs on YouTube? I got friends in safe spaces.
No.
If you like country music, check on YouTube. I've got friends in safe spaces. It is great.
I think my dog's a Democrat one's fucking hilarious too.
And then there's another one, The Day the Snowflakes Cried.
Oh God, that's a great one.
You know what you forgot, TR, that Trump has also done is he's actually taken California out of the drought. So he brought rain to California as well.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I'll say about Trump is, which I'm happy as shit about, he's not implementing sanctions on people. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. I mean, the airbase strike, did he have all of his ducks in a row by what he's saying, what's being put out? Yeah, he did. But then there's always well, he was so wrong. Syria didn't have chemical weapons. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. But I like how he takes action and then says, we took this action. It's not if you don't show us your stuff in 30 days, we're going to bomb you. And we're going to drop a bomb on the tunnels in Afghanistan or wherever they drop the mob at. You have 30 hours to vacate the area. You fuck it. If you're going to do it, you're doing it for a fucking reason. And that's to kill the fucking problem. Don't give them a fucking timeline of, oh, look, get ready, because here it comes in 30 hours, and then they vacate everything, and then 30 hours later, they put school kids in that area, and then that's what we end up killing. Just fucking That's the only thing about, well, not the only thing about Trump, but I like his way of doing that type of thing. There's not that whole alert that's going out 24 hours before the attack. It's just, fuck you. You killed one of our fucking SEALs. Fuck you. You know?
Well, and supposedly that wasn't for that, but yeah, because you're used to the last 8 years of okay, we're gonna bomb you in 36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe.
Yeah, as far as ISIS,
yeah,
Syrian
maybe.
rebels, Al Qaeda, fucking annihilate them. I mean, wipe them off the face of the fucking earth. I have no problem with that. I have changed my position on that. Not so much that I was an ISIS lover or whatever, you know, but far as Islam and things like that, I have changed my position on a lot of that stuff. But even then, I was like, you know, as long as it was the enemy, to attack them. But as far as ISIS and all that shit, yeah, they were dropping leaflets during Obama's administration, dropping leaflets. Hey, we're going to bomb this fucking area. Get out if you don't want to get hurt. Yeah, fuck that. You know, find targets. If it's a legitimate target, fucking blow it off the fucking face of the earth and move on. Don't blink. Don't fucking think twice about it. Don't look back. Hey, mistakes are going to be made. It's fucking war. But now, as far as taking Assad out and taking over Syria, I don't agree with that. But anything else, ISIS, Al Qaeda, that Moab, the mother of all fucking bombs, that was in Afghanistan on the ISIS target. They should have dropped 3 of them motherfuckers on.
Hey, TR, I'm not going to worry until the flags change behind you.
But you know, the one thing about that mother of all bombs that got dropped, the one thing that is still to, not unless something's changed within the last couple of days, because the last couple of days I've been busy, haven't been able to keep up with the news. Everybody's reporting there's no civilian casualties. It was all fighters. It was all this. You know, I would have sworn that by now somebody would have been, oh, there was a school in the middle of it, you know, to play that effect of, you know, Trump just fucked up because he blew up, you know, 50 school children. And I haven't heard that from any of the, you know, the go-to news sources. I mean, that's kind of unheard of.
I don't think the military would actually drop something of that enormity on something where they were going to have massive collateral damage anyway. You know, it's a big boom. You don't just drop that in the city. You put that out in the country, you know.
Yeah, but you would have thought that they would have at least put, you know, a mother and child were walking through to gather their fucking goats, and they ended up as casualties of war. I mean, I have you guys heard any of that? Because I haven't.
Yet he still got a lot of flack for it. They're like, oh, and these are the people like Trump supporters. Somehow, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand the Syrian airstrip. I understand them bitching about that and saying, oh, he's just turncoat. He's one of the guys, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as far as the mother of all bombs hitting the fucking ISIS target, it's like, fuck you. Like I said, he should have dropped 3 of them on it. Because last count I heard, it was only like 100 ISIS got killed. So evidently we didn't drop enough on them.
You know, this is for sure. Come 4th of July, some fireworks stand here in Virginia is going to have the Moab pack.
Hey, Combs, you won't have to worry about TR unless he looks like this. You know what I'm saying?
What do you have on your head?
It's a towel.
Paper towels.
Paper towels. Then you'll got to worry about TR. I can't believe this thing's balancing. Look at that shit. You got aluminum. I got paper towels, baby. Not only are they paper towels, they're shop towels.
Oh, super absorbent.
Hell yeah. America.
Next trip out to the retreat location, I'll make a video for you guys of my new target shooting pit. Guy had the bulldozer up there all week long.
Nice.
It came out nice.
You could turn this shit into a mohawk, I guess.
Now you look like TR.
There we go. Now I'm TR.
What's that? Never mind.
Do, 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 do.
You're not gonna be able to monetize this video, TR.
What? I was a shop tell. This is
Oh no. If he could monetize the last fucking video that we did, he's got no problems with this one.
The last 3 chats I've had, YouTube's already emailed me to that I couldn't monetize them. I didn't even try this one.
Seriously? They did that?
Yep.
Did you see? I didn't go back and look at I think it was last week when we did that screen share thing. Well, I did the screen share.
It had nothing to do with that. It's probably because I say fuck. I say fuck all the time. And that's what made it ad friendly, unfriendly.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, fuck that.
I just added guns, so now
yeah.
So there you go.
Well,
You're fucked now. You got the fuck language, the gun language, and
I mean, every
and you
other
said
video
twat.
they may not be ads running on it, but the chats, the last 3 or 4 chats, I've gotten an email from YouTube saying they were, whatever, and it included language, and I'm like, well, you got me on that. Fuck it.
You know what? Fuck this. Unicorns, baby fucking ponies.
All right, you got me breaking my rules.
I even cleaned the sink just so I can.
He showed his sink or countertop. Now he's totally busted. We know everything
Hey,
about
you know
him.
what?
Now.
You guys keep busting me up about the chainsaw shit. I got another fucking story for you.
Oh god.
All right, so there's a tree that fell down, right?
On the house.
No, not on the house this time, but I keep seeing the chain story shit. So it's funny because Fat Man said, "Yeah, I'll send you over a chainsaw." And I was thinking, what's this guy got cameras in my forest or what? So I'm sitting there. I cut the bottom, I cut the top, pinches the bar, right? I just say fuck it because it's already late. I unscrewed the chain and the blade, pulled the motor off, threw it in the back of my little cart, and back to the house I went. So out there is a big ass tree with a fucking bar and a chain on it stuck in between. I said, fuck it, I'll deal with this later. So there you go. There's a chainsaw story for you.
Hey, TR, does this one count?
Ooh.
Derringer.
Got yourself a nice little belly gun.
Now that don't count because that's probably California compliant.
That is California.
Some guy gave me that. I'm afraid to use it.
What you use those for? Well, I can't really say on there.
Yeah.
Just wipe it down real good, put it in the cabinet, and there may come a day you have to throw it on somebody.
It's a 22 Magnum, but I'm afraid to use the thing. I looked up the model number online. And it's nothing but these things explode in your hand. It's like, wow, that was a nice.
Those are good guns to have just in case. That's all I'll say. Does that make any sense? How much more do I have to?
It's a throwaway gun.
It's a throwaway gun. Or throw on somebody gun.
TR is going to start a new channel. TR is going to start. He's going to start a new channel called Read Between the Lines.
And make sure you pull the trigger at least once.
With his fingers. It all depends on your state. A guy can come after me. He don't have to have a weapon or anything. As long as I fear for my life, as long as is my or my loved ones are in threat of bodily harm, I don't have to have a fucking excuse. That is my excuse. Hey, they're coming after me. That's it.
I think Virginia's different.
Because in South Carolina, we have a castle law. I don't have to be in my house. They can be in my yard. They can be in my hotel room, my car. It don't matter. As long as somebody's threatening my livelihood or my loved one's livelihood, they don't have to have a fucking weapon. They can just be charging me. And that's it.
Yeah,
And that's the way
Virginia.
it should be in every state.
Virginia, you have a duty to retreat, and if I remember correctly, when I got my pistol permit in the class, uh, you shoot somebody, they're going to arrest you. Now you can explain it later, but they're going to take the weapon, and you're going to get hooked up in handcuffs and get processed.
Yeah, same with California, except they actually got rid, believe it or not, they got rid of the duty to retreat. But somebody comes into your house, with a rolled up newspaper and starts screaming about killing you. You can't do anything but grab another rolled up newspaper and go to town on the guy. You can't shoot somebody for just threatening you. They actually have to have the ability to do great bodily harm, not just talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so let me ask you this, Cal. You're not home. Your wife's home by herself, and I saw her laying on the couch one day. You did a quick view. Hey, look, here's the wife. Some 300-pound, muscle-bound psychotic walks into your house with a fucking news.
Yeah, that's different. I'm a fairly large person. Most people aren't as large as me, so I have to feel a legitimate threat of my wife, 5'3", weighs 120 pounds, soaking wet. That's different. That's totally different. Let's just face it, men are stronger than women. Don't fucking hate on me for saying that, but in most cases,
can't monetize now.
Yeah. So, if there's a legitimate physical threat, then of great bodily harm, but you have to be able to prove that. And then, just like Combs was saying, if you shoot somebody, you will get arrested, and they're going to take you to jail. You're going to lose your firearm, and it's going to get processed, and you can explain what you did later, but you're going to jail first for sure. It doesn't matter.
Let's face facts. Even if you're 100% justified in any shooting, I'm not going to say you're going to be arrested. You are going to be detained. And I know, TR, we've covered this a couple times. If TR walks into my house with a gun and he's like, fuck you, you arrested me for this, and boom, I fucking shoot him, I'm going to be detained. I'm going to be taken down to the fucking county, to the state, wherever. I'm going to be questioned. My firearm that was used is going to be gone for a while.
Yeah, okay. You caught me on the word arrested, but yeah, arrested is not the right word. I guess I chose. Detained would be the right word.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what situation. If you shoot another human being, you're going to be detained. So get that out of your head that I'm the hero. You are the hero. If you stop something, you are the hero. However, you're going to be detained. You're going to fucking lose your gun until the investigations. Hey, look, there's the wife. Hello. And
hey, Mom. They say hello, hon.
That's what's going to happen. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, like in Virginia, for example, let's say you're sleeping, your bedroom's on the second floor, your alarm goes off in your house, jump out of bed, grab your handgun, go downstairs, and somebody's down there and they come after you and you shoot them, you're going to jail in Virginia because you became the aggressor. You picked up your firearm and you went to the first floor.
Fuck that.
But I'm just saying how it is. I mean, if they come up the stairs in like the kids' rooms at the other end of the hallway from the master bedroom, and you can articulate that you were afraid the guy was going to make a left or a right to the kids' room as opposed to your room, then you might be able to make the case. But they got cases in Virginia. People hear somebody breaking in their house, they get their weapon, they go downstairs or go to the garage. Here, they call it the Commonwealth. You became the aggressor because you closed the distance with that person. They didn't close the distance with you. You closed the distance with them. And they see it here as you went down there to protect property, not to protect life. You picked up your firearm and you went to investigate to protect property. You became the aggressor.
Yeah, it used to be that way in California as well. But the thing that really scares me about having a CCW in California is if and when, God forbid, I ever have to go and use a thing, people get sued all the time for getting shot when they're in the wrong. If I don't, it sounds like a crappy thing to say, but my dad said, a long time ago when I first got into guns, it's like, if you ever have to use a gun and it's legit, kill the dude. because they will make your life miserable if you don't.
That's
And
what I was
it
gonna
sounds
say.
like a horrible, horrible thing to say, but it's legitimate. I mean, people get sued all the time for wounding people when they're breaking into their house or breaking into their business. The guy shoots him with a shotgun or whatever, blows his arm off, and now he has to live the rest of his life without an arm. Turns around and sues the dude for handicapping him and wins.
Mhm. Yep.
And kind of what Combs was saying too, the whole misconception about shooting somebody in the back. You know, obviously if it's just you and that person and they're retreating, but for the cases where that person may be going down a hallway to your kid's room or something, you know, that's still going to be legit. That's still a good shoot.
Mhm.
Now, in West Virginia, if you hear a gunshot at night, you're not too alarmed. If you hear a gunshot that's immediately followed by a backhoe starting up,
Or the wood chipper going.
Well,
that's somebody who's not a prepper because they haven't pre-dug the hole.
Well, you
Well-
guys are all on the shit list anyways because of this right here. Just because you know me, you're probably all screwed.
Well, it getting back to the laws of your state. That's why, even with all the states that are passing constitutional carry and are working on it in South Carolina, I will continue to have my concealed weapon permit. And but anyway, it's good to know your fucking laws, because just what Comms Prepper was talking about don't apply to me. I don't have a duty to retreat. Period. I remember in the 90s, I mean, like 1995, the Attorney General, this went over the fucking news. This went over the radio. This went over the TV. We are declaring open war on, what did he say? Open, I don't think it was war. Open season on armed robbery. If you break into somebody's house and they shoot you, and you're the homeowner, we will not take you to jail.
Mhm.
Period. That fucking shit was said by the Attorney General of the state. If you're broken into, if somebody breaks into your house, we'll automatically assume that they consider that they are wanting to cause you bodily harm, and if you fight back with deadly force, you will not be charged with a crime. We will not take you to jail, period. And that was in like 1995. Now, this is South Carolina. That don't apply to North Carolina or any other fucking state I live in. If you fuck with me in my state, if you come after me with any ill intent, whether you have a fucking weapon or not, because you could beat me to death with your fucking fist. I have the right to fucking kill you in your fucking tracks before I don't have to let you fucking start beating me to death before I pull a gun out. I can stop you before you do it.
In California, you have to let them beat you within an inch of your life before you can shoot them.
Yeah. So
it's
you got
mono
to
and mono. The force has to be the same.
You got to know the laws of your state.
Mhm.
And every state is fucking different. In my state, if you come after me, if you just start running after me, I'll drop you in your fucking tracks and never fucking think twice about it. And I know I'm within the law.
On that note, it's not even so much as knowing your laws. Obviously, that's a huge bonus, but also you need to know how, X number of judicial districts in your vicinity are going to prosecute that case. So you might even still be in the right, but if it's the opinion of the court that you weren't in the right, you weren't in the right. There you go. So you need to really obey not only the laws, but kind of like the justice system in your area as well.
Because like SoCal's saying, you can be completely justified within your own city, town, state, whatever. However, those assholes or their families have the right to come back and sue you federally for a fucking wrongful death. and that's usually where they win, which is fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's not even the judicial, law, or what's the word? That's not that's the civil side of it.
That's
Yeah,
why
not
Nicole
the criminal side of it.
OJ's wife's family got all that money.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it boils down to you got to know the laws. So if you live in a state that passes a constitutional carry, I still encourage you to get a concealed weapon permit so you know the laws, you know what you can and cannot do. Because like I said, South Carolina is not the most gun. There are states that are way more gun friendly than South Carolina. But no matter where I stand in South Carolina, whether it's a sidewalk, a fucking restaurant, my house, my car, a hotel room, I have no duty to retreat. And as long as I fear for my life, I'm within my rights.
And
Even if they come after me with a fucking civil suit, it does not matter. Because the law is written to protect me, not me.
And TR, your laws, TR, your laws also protect. Let's say that I'm in your state and I happen to be I'm walking down the street and I'm getting my ass beat or somebody's clubbing the fuck out of me. You have the right to come up and stop that, don't you? You can protect others.
Yes, I have the right in South Carolina. I can protect anybody's life just like it's mine. I can step in and take another person's life. I can use deadly force to protect another person's life if I choose to.
Mm-hmm.
In Virginia, they say to stop a forcible felony. So I'm not exactly sure what that all entails, but
forcible felony, rape, arson, murder, armed robbery. Shit. I already said rape. There's 6 of them. God damn it. I've been drinking, so I can't think of them right off the top of my head. But
you're not going to make lieutenant that way.
No. Well, I'm not drinking when I'm working. Damn it! I wish I could.
But you got to remember those questions when you take the test.
What was the question?
Right. I got a question for Blue. Somebody breaks in my house, I'm done because I wear hearing aids. So they're going to have to wake me up, if they're going to rob me. So about a year ago, I got pulled over, rolling stop at a stop sign. And I didn't have my hearing aids in. The cop's like, "Are you screwing with me?" I was like, "Ah." So I got a letter from my doctor and had that added to my driver's license profile that I wear hearing aids or hearing impaired. That's in Virginia. If I was in Pennsylvania and you ran my license, would that come up in your system?
Yep. Same thing with tinted windows, because a lot of people from, in state and out of state, they have a I don't remember what the condition is, but so much sunlight can actually hurt them. So they have like the tinted windows that are above what the state law says. And if you roll into our state, we pretty much automatically know. Almost every state is linked. Not all of them are, but damn near all.
All right. So you would know I wear hearing aids or should have them in.
Yeah. It'll come up on your. It's called a restriction in PA. That's
okay.
Like some people, if you're blind in one eye or whatever and you still drive, you have a restriction that you have to have dual mirrors or whatever the case may be. But you just have to look, and most of the time, I don't know if it's on the back of your license, but on PA license, if you have one of those restrictions and you're not sure what it means, turn the fucking license over. It's on the back. It prints out what the restriction is.
It's on my license. I didn't know if it came up in the computers out of state.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently my concealed weapons permit shows up on the computers out of state.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I was going to ask that same question.
That has become a pain in the fucking ass, and I'll say that as a cop, that has become a pain in the ass, because if I pull SoCal over, and he speeding a little bit, whatever, you come over to PA and do that, motherfucker. No. But he comes over and he's speeding. I pull him over. The fucking dispatchers make such a big deal over, okay, we ran his license and this is who he is, and be advised he does have a concealed weapons permit, and they make it sound like, oh my god, the world's gonna fucking end.
So they keep trying to pass a law here in Virginia, and this governor, what's his name, McAuliffe, one of the Clinton clan, he keeps vetoing it. That Virginia, I mean, they'll do it again, but Virginia will stop sharing CCW information with states that don't grant reciprocity to Virginia, because Maryland's targeting people.
Hmm.
I mean, if you come from Virginia, get pulled over in Maryland, they're like, "Where's the gun?"
Hmm.
They call it 2 cruisers, make you get out of the car because they think it's in the car. You got a pistol permit. I mean, Maryland is like out of control with this, and that's what started them trying to pass this law that says, "Hey, we should only share this pistol information with states that at least honor the permit and reciprocity." But this guy keeps vetoing it.
No, it's and I can see it happening, that it would turn into a state versus state, but it shouldn't. And I don't let that happen. I, like, me personally, I don't give a fuck. If you got a fucking gun in your car, as long as you're not a fucking piece of shit asshole that's running drugs, you just raped somebody, or you're a fucking convicted felon of robbery or beat the shit out of somebody, who gives a fuck? I mean, I've always been under the, I don't care. I don't care who it is. If I'm getting my ass beat on the side of the road, I would rather there be somebody there to fucking take care of the situations that I live. That's the way that I look at it. And I think that's the way that we all kind of have to look at it, because let's face facts. I mean, the blunt facts. None of us, none of the lawful citizens, the people that are just living day to day, they're having a good time, those are not the people you have to worry about. It's the fucking criminal that's going to get a goddamn gun, regardless on whatever restrictions they have. They can get them. They can absolutely get them. Those are the people we have to worry about.
Yeah, most of the people that go out of their way to, at least in California, it's a pain in the ass to get a CCW. It takes months and months and months. Anybody that's really going to go through all the, like, 4 background checks, both national and state, plus all the waiting and the interviews and all the crap you got to go through. All those people are decent human beings, otherwise they'd probably be turned down by the state. I mean, as far as like constitutional carry, I can understand, well, some states would get a little sketchy, but I guess they wouldn't know if they had a gun or not because they don't have a CCW and it's not showing up in the system.
No, you're right.
West Virginia just went to you don't need a permit to carry concealed, but you can still go get a concealed weapons permit if you want reciprocity with the other states.
Yeah, if you're never going to leave your state, not a big deal. But
Are you still
when
up?
you go to the gun store, you just pick it up. I know in North Carolina, you got to have a gun permit if you don't have a CCW, and then that only costs like $5 per permit. But
That's commie talk.
yeah, and that's in North Carolina.
But
I thought that shit was reserved for everything north of the Potomac.
the state,
In California, we got to wait 10 days. We can buy a gun, but you have to leave it at the store for 10 days.
Well, you live
Even if
overseas.
you got 50 guns already at home.
You're already outside the country. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
When's that thing going to fall off from
the state,
Arizona?
I don't care what state you're from. I don't give a fuck what state you're from. If your state had, like TR keeps saying, I don't care if you have a constitutional carry, get the CCW just to cover you in other states. I mean, I don't agree that PA doesn't honor, let's say, Texas CCW. I don't agree with that. And am I wrong? Yeah. By state law, I'm wrong, but I will never fucking arrest anybody from Texas, from California, from wherever. If they come over with a valid CCW, I'm not after those people. You know what I mean? And that's the way it needs to be. That is the absolute way. You're not after the people that are taking the proper steps to make sure that they're good to go, that they're covered, because they know the laws.
I would think at a minimum, any state that issues a concealed weapon permit, at minimum, and I don't know all the laws of every state, at minimum, they're going to do a background check. Okay, you're not a criminal. let's just say the least whatever state there is that issues a permit. I'm not talking about constitutional carry. I'm just talking about that actually issues a permit. At minimum, they're going to do a background check. Yeah, you're not a criminal. There's not a, some kind of mental fucking case against you or whatever. It's your right to carry a gun. At minimum, there's that. But I mean, I think it's good to go through the courses and know what's legal and what's not legal or there. I don't think you should have to do that to get it, but I understand it. Not necessarily 100% agree with it. That it would allow you, like my permit lets me carry in every state in the South at least, except Georgia, but they're working on it.
No Georgia?
No, South Carolina permit's not good in Georgia. Right now, but they're working on it. But like this weekend, I went to Tennessee and back. So I traveled through North Carolina. South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee and back. My concealed weapon permit was good for all 3 states.
Now, TR, I just read, I'm at the Virginia State Police website. I didn't realize this. As of July 1st, 2016, the state of Virginia recognizes all concealed weapon permit, regardless of state, provided they have a photo on them.
Cool. Let's go to fucking Virginia now.
Our shitty ass state doesn't have one. It looks like a damn old Costco, or not even a Costco card, like a.
Says the holder of such permit is at least 21 years of age. The permittee or licensee holder carries a valid photo ID issued by a government agency of any state or the Department of Defense or Department of State. The holder displays the permit or license and government issued photo identification upon demand by a law enforcement officer. The permit or licensee holder has not had a Virginia permit revoked. So that's to keep the guys from going out of state and carrying here at home.
My concealed weapon permit has my picture on it. But, from what you just read, as long as I give you my driver's license and permit,
you're good.
Yeah, good.
Oh, and permit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like my permit doesn't have a picture.
Now, the Virginia State Police website used to list all the states that recognized our permits, but that's gone now.
And I hope that continues. I hope that continues across the fucking nation.
There's North Carolina.
I don't know. That sounds like a commie state down there.
So everything's green. What, New York?
Yeah, if it's green, it's good. Now check this out. So let me change the permit.
It changes to Virginia. I'm curious where I'm good.
Okay, hold on. Get rid of North Carolina. Virginia, resident. 36. So a few states less than North Carolina.
Well, I don't go north of the Potomac anyway, because that's going overseas.
Now here's California.
Why even bother?
No, watch this.
They have zero reciprocity.
No, you got quite a few if you go the right way.
You got Virginia.
This is the way I used
all
to
right,
travel.
There's one. South Carolina doesn't have reciprocity with anyone.
You got West Virginia.
Here you go. Look at all that red show up.
That's from California.
I'm
That's
actually
if you have a
shocked
California
that
permit.
Yeah, California doesn't have any reciprocity for any CCW.
Well, what I was showing, TR, for some reason, Georgia's in there and Florida and all that with the North Carolina one. Is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. This app works great, though. I tell you what. I use it a lot when I'm traveling.
What is the app name?
This one is called. Let me back out of this thing here.
There's some kind of little tiff between South Carolina and Georgia. I don't know what it is, but they're working on it.
It's the one with the little, see that gun on top of the flag? That's the app if you look for the app.
Oh, Gun on Flag app. That's what I'm looking for?
Yeah. Let me see if I can go back even farther.
TR, don't feel bad because Virginia had Georgia, lost Georgia, picked up Georgia, lost Georgia. For a while, we lost Pennsylvania, but we got it back.
Yeah, Georgia is kind of well. You got Atlanta in Georgia. Atlanta fucking kind of guides Georgia. It's a wonder that it's a conservative state whatsoever, because it's like Atlanta, and then it's kind of like New York. You know, it's like Atlanta and the entire rest of the state.
Yeah.
Same thing with New York. New York City and the entire rest of the state is anti, New York City. Same thing with Georgia.
Again,
the entire state of Georgia is anti-Atlanta, and Atlanta is anti-Georgia.
And here's blues. That's what blue gets.
Yeah.
Dick.
Yeah, but I don't even have one. I have nothing on me that says that I'm a concealed carry anything.
No, you have your law enforcement stuff. Ass hat. I mean, sorry, Blue.
Yeah, you got to avoid these overseas locations. You get any north of Bobby Lee's house, you got to stop.
That's right.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up just because I'm tired. It's been a long weekend.
Because I drove 5 hours to get some.
Yeah. I need at least 30 minutes of decompression before I go to bed and go to work tomorrow. So I'm going to wrap this up. And let's with WTF SoCal or Big Meat Sunday. Would you like to do an outro? Tell us a little bit about your channels and do an outro.
Yeah, I think most of the people already know me, but yeah, I have a cooking channel called Big Meat Sunday, grilling and outdoor cooking type stuff. WTF SoCal is reloading and gun stuff, and forget about the other channels. They're not worth looking at anymore anyway. Thanks for having me on, brother. It's always fun. Thanks for all the comments out in the chat area. Always great talking to you guys. Have a great night.
I told you, man. Anytime you want to invite, just let me know. Blue 823. Would you like to do an outro?
Just a real quick outro. We had an event in my local area today. It was called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, where we were advocating or getting the word out about domestic abuse and sexual abuse and stuff. And I was wearing high heels today. I was for like all of about, maybe 500 feet of it. And then I decided to take the high heels off because they were rubbing my feet wrong. And I walked a mile in my bare feet on concrete, roads, sidewalks, everything else. But my feet hurt. I'm going to be limping for a fucking couple days, but it was for a great cause. The awareness, this is way off the chat topic, but the awareness of sexual abuse and domestic abuse. I mean, it's got to be put out there because it happens. Even though we don't think it happens, it happens. So don't be a victim. Be a survivor. And if somebody tries to rape you, shoot them in the face. And that's all I got to say.
That's pretty strong advice.
External chat, you guys kicked ass as always. But we'll catch you next time.
All right, thanks, Blue. And I'll quit sending you invites on the Tuesday nights because evidently that shit's rubbing off on you.
You'll made my ass look great, all right?
Oh, my goodness.
Comms Prepper, would you like to do an outro?
Once again, I'd like to say thanks to TR for sending me the invite and letting me participate. And despite what Blue might say, drive fast and take chances.
There you go. Rick, is your six covered? What you got to say, dude?
I got to say thanks, everyone, for showing up and supporting TR's channel. It's got a great channel, and all you guys out there in the external are awesome and rock as always. Nice seeing from you. But other than that, getting close to my 2,000 sub, so giving away a nice prize here pretty soon. So you guys take care. Make sure to drive safe. Make sure to check your smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. Peace.
All right. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate y'all coming on here and talk, keeping the conversation going. It turned out to be a really good chat. We covered a lot of subjects, and I appreciate it. And thanks everybody out there in the comment section and that watched later. I do appreciate y'all checking us out. It's turned out to be a really good chat, a really good, successful chat, I think. We always have a good audience, and I appreciate the input. I know I don't always get to keep up with everything that's going on outside there in the comment section, but I really do try. All of us do. And we'll see you next week. And later, everybody. Bye.